Hello my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that I've been given the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I and welcome to the fam. I have your weekly prediction prepared for you. As usual, you guys know each weekend I upload a weekly prediction because I want all you beautiful people out there to be as best prepared as you can be for your upcoming week. And I have no chill with that. I believe I have not missed a weekly upload in over a year. I'm kind of dedicated to the cause. Love you guys. So in order to help you figure out what is going on in your life next week and what to look out for, I have 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to please pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So just go with whatever group resonates with you. The groups are as follows. We have the Emerald, we have the Orange Calcite, we have the Howlite, as well as the Amethyst. So by now you should get the vibe. There is no chill here on my channel. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe if you unfailingly want to get your weekly prediction in your if you want to unfailingly get a weekly prediction in your subscription feed each weekend. And you guys continuously comment how I'm being more myself and my personality is just more out there. You know what, you guys, like before I kind of felt like I didn't want to put too much out there because I was scared for various reasons. That is a topic for a whole nother video, but I'm here now, okay? And I'm here to stay, and this is here to stay. And this is just who I am. Take it or leave it, internet, but I've got my unicorn fam and I love each and every one of you. And I just want to thank you guys for embracing me just as much as I embrace you. And yes, I want to keep this intro short though, so I'm gonna stop talking right now and I will get into the readings with the first group, which corresponds to the Emerald. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. That intro sounded strange somehow. It was kind of off, but it's cool. We'll get straight into your reading. So let's figure out exactly what is happening for you in your upcoming week. I'm really excited for you, group number 1. I have an interesting feeling. We have fire. So you may be of a fire sign, or a fire sign may be heavily involved in your upcoming week. Either way, there's a lot of passion here, okay? There are things going on, and passion can sometimes turn into a situation that is less than favorable if there are hurt feelings involved. But I don't want to say too much just yet. Let's figure out what else is coming up here. We have the Watchtower of the East. In spring, I see kind of like a breath of fresh air. So passion may be a breath of fresh air to you. Maybe you feel like you've been lacking passion in your life, in your relationships, maybe in a sexual relationship, but next week is a great week for you to get those sparks flying again and to try something new, adventurous, and out of the box. So if you have the opportunity, the possibility to be the one initiating that, I would say let out your inner freak, if you know what I mean, group number 1. Then in the Maven, one thing that I see is balance. I feel like this new sort of ignited passion is going to bring balance back into your life, and it's just going to allow you to feel more like at peace and at ease with yourself and your overall surrounding. I see your surrounding turning from something that was maybe like kind of dull into something that is fun and interesting and sparkly again. And that just correlates really, really nicely with spring. Just, you know, this fresh new beginning. Spring has new plants, new trees, just like new things growing. You get what I mean. And that is one thing that I see for you in your environment, wherever it is that you live. You see the beauty in it. Again, group number 1. In the Page of Shells, we have you following your intuition and not knowing exactly how to feel about a situation, but you're like, okay, I'll just try and stay positive about it. I don't know how to feel about this, but I'll just go with it. And the Page is unexperienced. The Page is often young. So maybe you will have something to do with a fire sign that is older than you. Maybe you're of a fire sign, and someone who is older than you is going to bring you into a situation where you're kind of like, whoa, I don't know what's going on, but you know what, I'll just act cool and kind of like go with it. And in the 10 of Shells, we have, you know, your well-being as well as blessings. So your well-being should be at the center of your upcoming week, group number 1. I want you to keep in mind that anything that doesn't make you feel good should probably be decluttered next week, because in the Page of Shells, I also see a certain amount of vulnerability, and the person that you're going to have to do with that is maybe older than you or wiser or more mature, doesn't have any bad intention with you, but what I see is that there are other situations here where you just need to make sure that you shield yourself from the negativity. So it could be negativity in the media, spend a little bit of time off social media. It could be negativity from a friend that will just not shut up about something negative, or it could just be negativity that you're embodying within yourself. You know what I mean? If you have a negative self-image, or you're just constantly talking down to yourself, you know, knock that off, group number one. You don't need that. In the labradorite, we have your psychic ability. So your psychic ability is going to thrive if you knock off the negativity. You make sure you stay far away from it. You know, we also are in Mercury retrograde, so that is not exactly helping, but know that your psychic abilities are now heightened. So if you feel like you've always kind of been a little psychic, or you've always had sort of like a sixth sense for something, I see that next week, you know, that sense is going to be tingling. It's going to be going off because of a certain situation. Let's figure out what that is. In the Unakite, I see that you have to pay close attention. You know, this is connected to living in the present moment. And in the Bloodstone, I see this detoxification. So I feel like your psychic sort of hearing, your psychic seeing, your clairvoyance is going to be going off and directing you in a direction where you have to eat healthily, work out, and detox in a way. So maybe you're going to think of a juice cleanse. If you're like a healthy person overall, you may think to really go to another level and actually do like a proper cleanse, actually only do juices and soups and just like fresh vegetable and fruit from the earth that you know is going to make you feel a lot lighter and get rid of a lot of like gunk that is within your body. Maybe even a water fast. I mean, I can't say that that is something that I recommend, but some people swear by it, and you know, to each their own. Then in the selenite, we have peace, but also there is another thing that is like detoxification, like purification. The selenite is a stone that you can use to purify other crystals, that you can use to cleanse the energy. So energy cleansing next week, beneficial to you, group number one. 100%. Another thing that I see here in the Ten of Shells in correlation to the selenite is just staying away from toxicity, okay? Toxicity in food, people, also alcohol, not for you next week, not good for your body. It's just, you're probably gonna have like a hangover that's 10 times worse, and it's basically going to make your psychic abilities fade. Alcohol is bad for your psychic abilities, it's bad for your aura, bad for your vibe, bad for everything. It's toxic, basically. So try and keep your consumption low or to a minimum. If you can, none next week. In the hematite, last but not least, we have mental strength. Next week, your mental strength is on fire. Your mental strength is at a point where you can make those decisions to stay away from negativity, and where you can allow yourself to stay emotionally sane. I see that for you, where things are really happening is in the emotional realms, not really so much in like the earthly, your work or whatever, like that's just gonna go the way it usually goes. I don't see anything particularly different or eye-catching about that. It is more about you emotionally. It's more about you just having like a blessed week, having a balanced week, and keeping anything that does not fit into that theme out of the door. So group number one, I hope that you like this reading. I hope that you feel like it gave you a little bit more insight as to what is important for your upcoming week. If it did, let me know down below in the comment section. Leave a little comment. If you're new to my channel and this is in fact the first time that you've tuned in and you made it all the way to the end of the reading, subscribe. I mean, who are we kidding? This is the fam for you, the unicorn fam, okay? You have officially been adopted. I'll see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number two. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite, group number two, and I want to get straight into your reading about your upcoming week. I have prepared nothing, so we're going to do this very intuitively and let you know exactly what to look out for and what may be testing you. So we have the Watchtower of the East. In the Watchtower of the East, I see sort of like a fresh breath of air. I see a new growth happening. So know that in spring, a lot of things are blooming, growing, preparing themselves for summer, preparing themselves for work. So I feel like you really need to look into your daily routine, look into how do you start your morning, how do you end your night? Do you go to bed really late and wake up early and you're just constantly exhausted? Or is your morning routine kind of already making you tired before you've even left the house? Know that if you have too many choices, it can get really overwhelming. And that is why it is best for you to have sort of like a uniform, have a certain way that you dress where you know that these things just go together, have a certain way that you do your hair, your makeup, whatever it is that you need to prepare. Know that having a routine will just make life so much more easy. Then in air, we have imagination. So in air, I also see an air sign. You may be of an air sign. Somebody who is heavily involved with you next week may be of an air sign. And in imagination, I want you to allow yourself to solve problems next week by being very imaginative, because that is going to allow you to have sort of like new solutions that you've never thought of before, but those are often the most effective solutions, group number 2. Keep that in mind. Oh, okay, we pulled 2 cards. We have the Hearth as well as the Lord/God. So masculine energy in the Lord or God, whatever you would like to call it. I see phallic energy that maybe even a little bit overbearing. Know that too much phallic energy can be intimidating. And in the Hearth, one thing that I see is that maybe close to home. So there may be a situation of conflict with somebody close to home, you know, a partner, a loved one, your mom, your dad, your siblings, where your phallic energy is causing this sort of conflict, is causing you to butt heads, because you're not going to back down. You're not going to be the one to be the bigger person yet again. And that is one thing that may be causing friction. But in the Hearth, you may also just need to like warm up your home, literally. Maybe it's cold at this time of the year. Maybe you just need to decorate it with a little bit more like candles and cozy things just to make your home more of a home. Okay, a sign, the universe. We have the peridot as well as the obsidian. So in the obsidian, we have protection. Protection is here for you next week. But at the same time in the peridot, you also need to like teach yourself to protect yourself. I spoke to you about being in a heated situation where you don't want to be the bigger person. Sometimes you need to protect yourself from that negativity, because when you don't want to be the bigger person, it keeps you in this situation just for longer, which sometimes can just chew up more energy and do more damage. But obviously we don't see that in the moment because we're stubborn, we're humans, we have egos and we have pride. But sometimes letting that get in the way can cause like long-lasting effects that are not really what we hoped for. So really weigh your options and ask yourself if it's even worth it trying to just like stick to the point that you wanted to make. Then in the 10 of acorns, we have responsibility as well as dedication. So I feel like you will be given more responsibility next week, maybe at work, maybe you have to take care of somebody younger than you, just some form of responsibility, and it's going to make you feel like you have a lot more to do in this earth. It's going to make you feel like you have a heightened sense of your purpose. And in the Hermit, I see that contemplation is going to come next. So the fact that you're going to have more responsibility is then going to lead you to like retract. When you're just by yourself next week, you're going to think like, okay, like, do I like maybe want to adopt a dog? Do I maybe want kids? Do I maybe want a little bit responsibility, a little bit more responsibility in my life in general? Maybe starting my own business, maybe just holding myself more accountable. I feel like you're kind of going to like the extra responsibility in a really weird way. Then in the Empress, we have beauty and abundance, a very fertile time also, if that is one thing that is a concern of yours. And in the Empress, we just have you like slaying next week. Okay, let me just say it really easily, slaying. Looking bomb af, glowy af. So embrace it. Like, you're radiant, you're a beautiful person. There's no reason to shy away. Then we have the 6 of acorns. I see a triumphant week next week. I see that if you truly want to like stick to what it is that your opinion is with this person that you may be in conflict with, I feel like you will be the triumphant one here in the 6 of acorns. And I feel like you will still ask yourself if it was really worth it though, which is completely up to you. You decide. But overall, I feel like that energy could be put into something way more productive and longer lasting than, say, a disagreement or just a situation where, you know, your masculine energy is just like pushing at something, or it's not really worth using that energy, if you know what I mean, group number 2. So think wisely what you want to do with this air of success, with this sort of breath of fresh air. Think about where you would like to expend that energy to and make that decision based on what is best in the long run. I feel like next week you have more of a tendency to see things in the now, to be a bit more short-sighted than you usually are, but I want you to still think long-term. Don't make any impulsive decisions, okay? Next week is not the week for it, and just feed more into the responsibility that we spoke about, okay? That is truly what is going to end up being the best choice for you, the best thing that you can do for yourself. So group number 2, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading, and I hope that you feel just a little more prepared for your upcoming week. If you did enjoy the reading and you do feel a little more prepared, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Howlite group number 3. I want to get straight into your reading. I haven't prepared anything, so we're just doing this intuitive AF, getting straight into your upcoming week to figure out what you need to be looking out for. So first and foremost, we have the Lord/God as well as the Hearth. So I definitely see phallic energy here, and in the Hearth I see warmth, okay? I see warmth, you warming up to somebody who has a very masculine energy. So this could be, you know, a love interest, it could be somebody that you just met, or, you know, like a long lost soulmate, maybe your twin flame. So kind of like romantic energy, I see them balancing you out, so to say, because maybe your energy right now is very, very feminine. Then we have a Hex, so banishment, okay? You have to get rid of something in kind of like a low-key aggressive way, okay? Not low-key, high-key group number 3. And in the Broomstick, I see, oh my God, clearance. Okay, something really needs to leave your life immediately, group number 3. This is no joke, okay? Something here is just not working together. It's not vibing with you. Maybe it's a relationship or like an item in your life that is not serving you, that is putting bad vibes in your environment. If you have anything from like an abusive, say, ex, or you have something lying around that just gives you a bad feeling, or maybe it's even, say, in your house, you feel like, you know, the lock on your door isn't really working the way it should, and you just have like a weird vibe, I want you to fix it. If you have a weird vibe about somebody that you're talking to, maybe like someone with masculine energy, a guy that you thought was like one person, but then you kind of feel like under the surface he may be somebody else, you need to get rid of that person, okay? So just a little hint of advice for you, group number 3. Then we have Justice. I want you to seek truth and clarity. That is what Justice is for. So obviously I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm just going to point out to you that there is something here that needs to be banished. First, however, consider like basically every part of the puzzle. Don't just look at something from a one-sided perspective, because you may be jumping to conclusions with a completely wrong situation, with a situation that is okay, that is in your life, but you know, you're missing what really needs to be banished because you're just so focused on something that you feel isn't working out when it's in fact something else. So knowing each part of the puzzle, knowing the truth, having clarity, clairvoyance in a situation is how you can really know if you're making the right decision or not. You will just feel it deep down in your heart. Then we have the 5 of Feathers. In the 5 of Feathers, I see that you have to be strategic next week. I feel like your resilience is going to be tested. There is something happening that is just going to like penetrate your brain in a way that hurts, that is annoying, that you feel like you have to switch up your tactics. So maybe at work, things are going to change. You know, maybe somebody is kind of like low-key bullying you or not treating you very nicely, but they're in a position of power, so you need to like switch up the tactics. Same thing with school, with your studies. If you feel like a teacher, a professor doesn't like you, trust me, been there, done that. You're just thinking to yourself, okay, what can I do to just not put myself in a position where I'm just going to shoot myself in the foot? Because fact of the matter is, there are often people in positions of power, doctors, nurses, teachers, and they often abuse the power. They can often have this God complex. So an overdose in masculine energy could also be that, okay? There's a high possibility that that is maybe something that is tormenting your life a little bit, that you have to get rid of as much as you can. Then in love, however, you know, we have love, as we spoke about at the beginning of your reading. Love is here for you to just take advantage of, because sometimes it can be really difficult when you're going through a clearance, when you're going through getting rid of something to feel like there's any stability in your life. Look to love for that. If there's no romantic kind of love there, platonic love can make you feel safe and secure as well. Then we have the Jade. So good luck is coming towards you by the end of next week, group number 3. I want you to know that whatever you want to do with this situation, it's going to end up fine for you, just fine. And then there's going to still be a surge of good luck. So luck, maybe not in the area where you have to like get rid of something immediately, but luck in another area of life that sort of makes up for any turbulence that is happening next week. Then last but not least, in the Hematite, we have mental strength. Of course, getting rid of this situation, banishing it, is going to cost you a lot of mental strength, group number 3, but keep in mind that your strength is here to be used. Keep in mind that at the end of the day, you decide who shakes you, what shakes you, and how you lead your life. I mean, often, yes, there are people who want to tell you what to do, how to live your life, what is best for you, what is not good for you, and you know, that is fine, that is their opinion. Everybody is entitled to that, but whether you listen to it or not is completely up to you. And for you, I want you to know that your mental strength is so valuable next week. It is in fact invaluable. You know what to do. You have the clarity, clairvoyance about your life. You know the truth about you, and do not let anybody else tell you otherwise. Do not let anybody create your path, your truth, the person who you are, because that is 100% up to you. You know, each and every person has the right to decide who they are and what their truth is and what their path is. You decide over your path. Other people have the right to decide over theirs. There is nobody in this world who needs to decide over 2 paths, okay? We each get one, so work on that one, okay? Everybody who is trying to get into your business, mind your business, okay? My little unicorn knows better than to listen to that. But in all honesty, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful, maybe a little motivational, and I hope that it gave you that extra little spruce of confidence, group number 3. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more weekly readings as well as tons of other fun videos, and I will see you in my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. Too much hand gesture? You chose the Amethyst, group number 4, and I'm like covered in amethyst today, in case you haven't noticed. So I feel you, group number 4. Let's get straight into your reading. As you can see, I have prepared nothing. We are unprepared AF, so I will be picking from my 3 decks right in front of me, completely intuitively. Let's figure out what's happening for you next week. Okay. We have Beltane. So one thing that I see is fertility, okay? So I see that your private life is on fire, group number 4. I see that if fertility is something that you're looking into, then yes, okay, next week is a good week for you. Obviously, for anybody who's single, next week is a great week for potential love interest. If you're in a relationship, ignite that fire, okay? Get the passion going, put on that lingerie, put on the cute music, cook dinner, whatever you gotta do it, because I feel like it's just so important for you to reignite that romantic spark. Maybe you've been too much about like just Netflix and chill, but you need to remember that you are, as a human being, are a sexual being at the same time. Then in the Book of Shadows, I see some sort of secret. I see something being revealed. Well, not revealed, it is still concealed. Whether it is going to be revealed or not, we still need to find out. In the Watchtower of the North in winter, I feel like this is something that maybe has been slumbering for a long time. This secret is something that you may have thought about for maybe months, weeks, maybe even longer than that. But what I see here is that in the Book of Shadows, you can in fact get to the bottom of it, but I feel like patience is needed. You may not already figure it out next week, and it may just be like this weird feeling that you get about a situation where you're just like, I can't put my finger on it, but something is off about this. It could be something as little as who stole the last piece of cake, or it could be, is he cheating on me? You know, is he seeing somebody else? Is he maybe not committed to me like he says he is? So like I said, it could be something small like cake. Well, to some people that's big. Just ask my twin flame. Or it could be something like, you know, more in depth in a relationship. In the Eight of Crystals, I see progress in the earthly realms though. So aside from this thing that you're kind of like not sure about, that is kind of bothering you a little bit, I see progression when it comes to your work, when it comes to your career, when it comes to you in the earthly realms, okay, your money. And one thing that I want you to know is that it is all through your hard work and dedication, but you need more dedication. You're not quite where you need to be in order to reach that next target. Next week, you have to push through a little bit more. So use your energy that you have to push in your work, in your career. If it is school, then put that extra time into studying. Don't focus so much on the secret, because it may just be that, you know, it is winter, there is snow over it, there is like ice, it's frozen over, and you can't even get to it till spring. Like, you get what I'm saying, group number 4? You guys always get me. In the Nine of Crystals, I see security as well as abundance. So you have to focus, like I said, on your progress. You have to dedicate yourself to whatever it is that you do for a livelihood, for work. But at the same time, I also want you to spin this web of security. So if you still need to, for instance, get a type of insurance, maybe it is a health insurance, maybe it is an insurance for your home, your car, whatever it is, look into that, as I see that security can be achieved in many ways that is not just heaps of money, but just making sure that you, your family, your loved ones are safe and are taken care of in case of anything happening, anything unforeseen happening. Another thing in security that I want you to look into is also how you store your finances. You know, do you keep them in a savings account? Do you keep them under your mattress? I mean, I don't know what you do, but I definitely feel like what is important for you is to put any worries away. There are worries that you have. Like I said, maybe you are thinking about that insurance that you know need, that you know would make you feel at ease. Do it. Maybe you're thinking of storing your money instead of like under your pillow in an actual bank account or in a safe if you don't trust banks. Do it, because I see that when you release any of those thoughts that make you feel uneasy, that make you feel kind of like worried about what you've accomplished in the earthly realms, that is when more abundance will come your way. And that is also how you can just overall like manifest more earthly things into your life, because you're not stressed about them. You actually have a plan of what to do with them. Then we have the 10 of feathers as well as the 6 of feathers. Okay, so a lot of air here, a lot of kind of like air sign energy. In the 10 of feathers, I see transformation that is completed. I see that you have recovered from something that may have hurt you in the past. So maybe somebody said something really hurtful to you, or you said something hurtful to somebody else, but that situation is recovered now. That relationship has either recuperated itself or is now at a point in your life where you can like move on and forget about it. And in the 6 of feathers, I see a transition into another stage of who you are as a spiritual being. So I see a transition to where you have more insight about other people, because oftentimes what life really is about is other people and how we handle our relationships with other people. Because how boring would life be if you were, say, like the only person on this planet? Like, so much of our life is interaction with other people, whether it be through our work, personal life, or both. And I want you to know that gaining more insight on how to manage people, how to delegate, maybe just how to maintain good, healthy relationships is what I see coming for you next week. So you may have picked up an amazing book that helps you understand other people more. Maybe you're just turning on that empathetic streak in you a whole lot more than you have in a long time. Let's move on though. In the dioptase, we have direction. So you have direction next week. Maybe you've been lost recently, but direction is coming into your life. We have the green aventurine, which stands for new opportunities. So whatever direction you're moving in, shifting into, wherever it is that you feel like you're being drawn towards, is going to come with a lot of great new opportunities. And I definitely feel like the way how you can get closer to these opportunities is through proper communication. Okay, the feathers stand for the air sign, which stands for communication. And I feel like your communication as well as like managerial skills are what you're going to be working on next week. And if you're, say, I don't know, a barista at Starbucks or so, maybe you don't need those managerial skills just now, but it is a lesson for the future. I mean, you may be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company in a year, 2 years time. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Okay, it could even be quicker. Maybe it's your own empire. And I want you to know that everything that you learn in communication is going to come at handy sometime soon, or I mean, soon, a year, 2 years, maybe a month. All I'm saying is that it's valuable, okay? It's valuable, group number 4. Then last but not least, we have the Larimar. So in the Larimar, that is connected to your throat chakra as well as to water. Know that in the air signs, we have somebody who kind of like does not think too much before they speak. You can be a little bit, okay, how do I put this? You can be somebody who hurts other people with their words unintentionally, okay? Unintentionally, group number 4. I'm not calling you out as like anything that is lesser than a good person. You do it unintentionally because you're just too real. And a lot of people can't deal with that. And I want you to know that just in correlation to water, having a little bit more of a empathetic approach is really what you need to amp up those managerial skills. Because when you put yourself in the other person's shoe, whoever it is that you may be talking to, that you may be having to deal with, also later in life, the more you grow as a person, the more you progress in your career, the more people you come in contact with, whether that is, say, in a big company or you actually want to follow a more spiritual path, you will still come in contact with people. And the way how you can really form a bond, be understood and heard, is by showing the other person that you care about them, because we all just want to be loved, heard, supported, as well as made to feel like we're important. And keep in mind that if you cultivate that feeling for another person, they will most likely reciprocate, or at least be more than willing to listen to you, to collaborate with you, to do things with you in a way where you can actually work on something, form something, and build. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly, truly hope that you enjoyed it, that you found it inspiring, maybe motivational, and that it gave you insight into what is important for you in your upcoming week. So group number 4, I wish you an awesome day or night wherever you are in this world, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.